This is a beautiful wedding sign I created for one of my close friends. It's constructed using some maple plywood and white oak for the surrounding frame. This is Timber Creek Woodcraft, and let me show you guys how I made this. I begin by breaking down my sheets of plywood. I'm going to be using 3/4 inch for the backer and 1/2 inch for the cutout letters. I oversized my sheet of 3/4 inch plywood to give me room to inset it into the hardwood frame I'll be creating later. So since the piece of 3/4 inch plywood is going to be our backer, we're going to apply some stain to that, and we're going to take the 1/2 inch piece over to the CNC machine, cut the letters out. And while that dries, I'll get the CNC machine set up. I really like how well the masking tape and CA glue method works. I just really don't like setting it up, and the cleanup kind of sucks. Now I know in the software you can add tabs and pull the whole sheet off and cut the letters out individually, but with the amount of letters I have and how intricate they are, I'd rather just take the extra time and do the CA glue setup. I'm going to be using a Whiteside 1/8 inch downcut bit for this. It's small enough to get all the intricate details of these letters, and it also still has a 1/2 inch cutting length. Downcut bits also give you the cleanest edge on the face of the material that you'll be cutting. Okay, everything came off the CNC machine super nice. No chip out. These things are super fragile though. I already broke one word here. I'll have to glue that back together, but otherwise everything came out super nice. I'm happy with that. The next thing is the tedious task of just cleaning up any little burrs on here with some sandpaper, getting them cleaned off real well, and then we'll prime and paint them. Before I assembled the frame onto the panel, I went ahead and sealed it with some polyurethane. To begin the frame, I went ahead and grabbed my massive 6-inch joiner and set it right on top of the table. Massive is a bit of an overstatement. And then I got to milling some lumber. After the joiner, I made a few passes through the planer. Then I ripped them down to their final size. I then set up my table saw to cut the slots for all the frame pieces, raising my blade height to approximately half the depth of the material. And then while keeping even pressure on the fence and using a push stick, I made one pass through each piece and then moved the fence about the width of the saw blade until I snuck up on the size of the plywood. In hindsight, I probably should have made the size of my frame first and then sized the plywood panel to fit inside of it. But it all worked out pretty well in the end, as I just made minor adjustments until the frame fit properly. After doing a dry fit of everything, it was time to glue it all up. I bought one of these strap clamps to try out, and turns out it was money well spent. These things make it super easy gluing up mitered frames. With everything clamped in place, I went ahead and drove a few brad nails into each side just for some extra holding power. The next day I came out and unclamped the piece and began sanding the frame, progressing from 120 grit all the way up to 320 grit. And I finished it off with some Odie's oil. This stuff is super easy to apply and leaves a beautiful and durable finish. One of my main concerns when building this sign was how I was going to get the letters level and evenly spaced. So that's why I made the plywood I used to cut out the letters the same size as my sign. I could then set that inside of the frame and use it as a template for lining up everything. For the glue up, I used CA glue just to speed things up rather than regular wood glue. And it also saved me from figuring out how to clamp all these down. I was pretty ecstatic when I revealed the final piece and to see how everything worked out so well. But there was still one final little detail to add to this. If you guys stuck around for the whole video, thank you, I appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. And if you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down below. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.